Forms of magic. In this video we have a relaxed chat about different forms of magic. Stick around to the end for our power tip, which will expand your working skills.
Hello, I'm Max Raven.
And I'm Cassandra Raven. Together we have over 30 years experience in the occult, witchcraft and magic.
We share insight, knowledge, advice and lifestyle tips to make your magic go further and add potency to your work. Forms of magic. Rather than different systems, these are overarching components that you will find in almost every system of magic. All of these can be used for either positive or negative purposes, black, white or grey witchcraft. Image magic is the first one we're going to talk about. Is where you use the image to represent the target of a spell. These can include poppets, voodoo dolls, clay figurines, and photographs. Now, what would you use image magic for? What would be the first, should we say, goal you would go to image magic for?
For me, probably making poppets to heal someone. So that would be kind of my first port of call, really, if it was anything to do with image magic. Okay. Because for me, sending healings, it's easier if I have an image of that person in my mind really clear. So I might even use a photograph for that.
Fantastic. Cool.
What about you?
It would be really varying. I think the first time I used it was as creating a sort of protection energy. And that was a bit more, more sort of like a chimera-esque type gargoyle creature. Sort of in my early days of approaching magic, and I came across these different images of these guardian energies, and I wanted to try and create some sort of figurine which represented that.
Cool.
Right, should we move on?
Let's move on.
Cool.
Candle magic involves the use of candles, obviously, the colour being important to their particular use. These can be dressed with oils and carved with sigils, and they're excellent for adding energy to the spell work by focusing your intent on the flame. When have you used candle magic?
I've used a variety of ones. I like to use a lot of candles. You've seen the way I work. It tends to be a little bit OTT when I set up like a working space. It's almost a little bit theatrical. So candles is a really great way of adding that energy to it. And various, like you say, different colours for different elements. So if I was looking to do something for luck, lots of green candles, or something for banishing, black or say white candles, maybe a combination of the two. But they tend to be a sort of a combination for me alongside other things.
Okay, candles are kind of the thing that you use on your altar anyway.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a standard thing to use on your altar. So using candles is definitely quite it's a common thing to have. As far as I'm concerned, candle magic is just such an easy go-to thing to use because of the colour. Colour correspondences for me work really, really strongly, and also being able to carve a sigil into a candle, that works really, really well for me as well, because the process of creating the sigil and then placing it on the candle and then focusing the intent, the whole thing all ties together, and for me it's just a really easy and quick and effective way to do spell work.
It's also a lovely way of showing respect or marking something. So it's a really nice, really simple thing you can do. So it's just acknowledging something.
Yeah. Okay, so should we move on to the next one?
Yeah. Chants and songs. These are extremely powerful, especially when used as a group. Focusing that group consciousness, vibrating names and sounds literally creates energy. Now I know you use this quite a lot. I've got about the best singing voice, a bit like an exploding dustbin. But you're quite good at actually vibrating the Hebrew letters or the words if you're doing a Kabbalistic cross or something like that.
Yeah. So for me, the vibration and the tone, and I'm not a great singer, but if I can hit the right notes for the correct vibration, then all the better. And so, it's a really powerful thing to do. And, you see sort of, monks chanting, and chanting, it just brings so much power to the working, especially, as you say, if there's more than one of you doing it.
Oh, definitely.
And it's so powerful when there's, 2, 3 or more people doing the same chant at the same time.
I mean, you just need to listen to, say, Gregorian chanting. That even if you're not Christian or you're not, say, attending church, that still has power in it. That's several people focused on a particular goal. I tend to use more of a chanting. I might have, say, key phrases that I might repeat during the process, or I might make a small chant or poem, but I would repeat that over and over again as I'm going through the working process. And it's quite good for getting you in that sort of state of mind, almost like meditative state.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the idea of vibration as well. So the sound obviously has a sound wave, a vibration, and that carries its own energy.
Well, you could say the same for bells and singing bowls, which
absolutely.
is a really nice one.
Yeah, absolutely. So, shall we move on to the next one?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. So, talismans and amulets. Usually carried upon the person, sometimes made into jewellery, and tend to represent a certain outcome that the practitioner either wants to create or avoid.
Yes. I like these ones, and I have made them for a few different people. Actually, I've made one for you that you still carry in your bag, which is, I think we'll show it at some point in the B-roll. But it is nice because it's something that you can physically give to someone that you've empowered, and it's something that you can go back to. And the nice thing, that's what the difference between like a talisman or an amulet will be, that you could use it for anything. I've seen some lovely ones where a ring has been formed into an amulet, if that makes sense. That it's a focal point. If you're feeling nervous or uncomfortable, you want protection, you might touch the ring on your finger or anything like that. It's that sort of reinforcing of that state of mind when you're creating it.
Talismans and amulets aren't so much something that I used until I met you, because you sort of introduced me to the use of those more. But I did have a necklace with one of the Hebrew names of God on it, which I used to sort of reinforce my energy. But in the way that I've been taught, I don't really often work with things like that because I need to use my own energy.
Oh yeah, of course.
And so to rely on a talisman or an amulet in the way that I work, actually, I don't like to rely on anything. So what if it breaks? Or what if you lose it? Or what if you're not wearing it that day? Or, there's all these kind of like things that can come into play. And I'd rather rely on my own strength and my own abilities than something else. But I do get why people use them. Yeah. And I think they're good. They work, and I think they are good. But this is where we work differently to each other. True.
I mean, I tend to find, it wouldn't be I might carry it on me for a particular time period, or, for example, if I was going for a job interview, I might give myself a talisman and just carry it with me that day. But, I wouldn't feel I would need to carry it around with me all the time, if that makes sense. But just keeping it at that key time. So it's that... It's that little subconscious poke, if that makes sense, to put you back into the magical state of mind.
Funnily enough, talismans seem to be the thing that we make most for other people.
True.
So when they need help, they might need a boost or they might need help with a certain situation. Usually a talisman is our go-to
because it's something because we
physical. Can create it. It can be worn or carried, and also it can be concealed quite well. So
definitely.
People often want to conceal rather than sort of show off anything that they're carrying with them.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Herb magic or wart cunning. This is the use of herbs and plants within magic. These can take the forms of incense, oils, brews, infusions. And it can also tread an interesting line between witchcraft and holistic healing. Now, you're probably going to grill me on this one, aren't you?
I'm not going to grill you. It's just that it is your specialist subject.
I work with plants, and I tend to try and find any way that I can shoehorn them into anything we're doing, as you've probably noticed by some of the other videos you've watched.
They carry so much energy.
Well, they definitely do. I mean, it's the basic principle that everything in existence has energy and it has its own vibration. The natural world has such a wealth of different ingredients and different things that you can use and combine. And the lovely aspect that I really enjoy is the fact that you can see their healing properties alongside their magical ones, and the crossovers are lovely, and it brings a much wider view to, shall we say, like holistic herbalism, which sort of skirts the boundary of it. But when you look at it with witchcraft and magic on top of it, it becomes this, oh my God, this is a beautiful web of energy where it affects you physically, energetically.
Yeah. Linking in with the planetary aspects as well, which surprised me when I first learnt about it, you know, that plants could have a planetary link. And, you know, then, you know, having done astrology, it really fits now for me to just go, oh, okay, yeah, that plant's related to the sun, or that plant is related to the moon, or this plant is related to Jupiter. So for me, it kind of, it solidifies the power and the energy of that particular plant.
Definitely. I also love the idea of the common names. It's fantastic. It's so often in, you know, like witchcraft, you'll come across, you know, things like Eye of Newt, Wool of Bat, and
which are
Batwing. Okay, Eye of Newt is Deadly Nightshade. Wool of Bat is actually cobwebs. Batwing is holly. You've got all sorts of weird different ones. So trying to remember some of the other ones off the top of my head now. You've got Queen of the Night, Jasmine. You've got I've listed. This is really annoying. I've forgotten all of them now. You put me on the spot.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
That's all right. Don't worry. I'm trying to think of the ones that aren't rude, and we could actually say on YouTube, because there's loads of ones that are really got strange and dodgy names.
Yeah. But the common names are fun.
They are fun.
And sometimes people assume that it's the actual thing, like Eye of Newt. They would assume that, you know, from the Shakespeare, that the Eye of Newt isn't actually an eye of a newt that you would put in.
One that's come to mind is, you know, bloodwort is actually yarrow, and that comes from one of its uses. It was used for healing in Greek times, so it was used for staunching the blood flow. So if you've got, that's one thing you might find, if you've got a plant that's got a word and then wart at the end, that usually is a sign that it has or did have some healing properties in herbalism at some point in the past.
Interesting.